Hey guys, I'm Steve Cherry, and today I'll be previewing Group C on my World Cup video blog. Who's in Group C? It's Colombia, Ivory Coast, Greece, and Japan. So I'm going to start with Los Cafeteros, Colombia. This will be their 5th appearance in the World Cup finals, their best run coming in 1990 when they made it all the way to the round of 16. Their head coach is Jose Pekerman from Argentina. He has won 3 under-21 world championships for his country and hopes to take Colombia to the next level. He did coach Argentina in the 2006 World Cup finals in Germany, losing on penalties to the Germans in the quarterfinal. So he does have World Cup experience. His key players for this World Cup are going to be number 1, James Rodriguez. He's a midfielder who led the Confederation in passing during the qualifying campaign. He plays great for his club side Monaco in France, and his significance will be magnified with the absence of Radamel Falcao, who is the most productive player on the team, who will have to miss due to injury. Next, Jackson Martinez. He's a striker who plays for Porto in Portugal. He's always been fantastic for his club side, but has never seemed to find the same form at the international level. He will need to fill the role of Falcao at this World Cup if Colombia plans on getting out of the group. Finally, their goalkeeper, David Ospina. He plays for Nice in France, and he's a solid goalkeeper who can control the back four and really become a leader at this tournament. He's very successful with his club side, and it's going to take a major role from him in order to advance out of the group. So can they advance without Falcao, their best player? Martinez will have to play exceptionally well, and he'll have to get help from players like Teo Gutierrez, who is another striker who will be coming off the bench, or unless they decide to run 2 strikers up front. But I do see it being too much of an uphill climb for them. So let's move on to the next team. Ivory Coast, Les Elephants, the Elephants. They've only been to the World Cup twice before this, in 2006 and 2010, but at each appearance they've improved their record, although they've never gotten out of the group stage. Their head coach is Sabri Lamouchi. He's a Frenchman, and this is his first major coaching stint with an international side. He became the manager right before the Elephants qualifying campaign kicked off in Africa. The key players for him are going to be Yaya Toure, a midfielder who plays for Man City and just is coming off his best season yet in his career with Man City. They won the Premier League. He scored the most goals for them. He's a mountain of a man and can score from set pieces or create opportunities for the strikers up front. Second, Didier Drogba is their striker who brings championship experience. And he's an Ivory Coast legend, highly capped player. He missed 2 of the 3 group stage games in 2010, so I know he's looking for redemption at this World Cup in particular. Might be his final chance at glory also because, he's retiring from international competition after the World Cup in 2014. So, if they could get out of the group stage, it will be a huge triumph for him in his international career. Finally, Gervinho, who has great pace and excellent movement. He's a winger. He's coming off the best season of his career with Roma. He was on loan from Arsenal, where he has never really stepped into the role that they wanted him there. But, after an incredible year like he's had in Serie A, anything is possible. He'll have to keep that form going if they want to advance. But he does have international experience from the last World Cup, so that might help him in this group. So with their less than impressive defense, can they advance? I think they can advance, and I think they will advance. I don't know if they'll win the group. I do think it'll come down to the last day of games in this group to decide who the second place team is that goes through, but it's by far the most competitive group, and I think anybody could advance. So now I'm going to move on to Greece, Ethniki. This will be their 3rd appearance at the World Cup finals, but they have never made it out of the group stage. Fernando Santos from Portugal has been their head coach since their early exit in the 2010 World Cup. He was hired immediately afterwards, and he has no World Cup coaching experience, but has coached at the club level and brought the Greeks to the quarterfinal at the 2012 Euro Championships. So that gives them a lot of hope. The key players for him, and excuse me if I mispronounce any of these names, Giorgio Karagounis. He's going to be 37 when the World Cup starts. He's a midfielder who plays for Fulham, but he has championship experience and he's a veteran of the squad. I mean, he's going to have to really step into a leadership role like he has in the past if they're going to get out of this group. He was a member of the 2004 Greek European Championship team also. So, like I said, he does have championship experience at the international level. Second, Georgios Samaras. He's a forward who likes to play on the wing. He's multi-purpose from Celtic in Scotland and really likes to use his one-touch abilities to feed balls into the box and get the strikers opportunities. So he'll need to keep his pace and form going from his Celtic season if they want to get out of the group. Finally, Kostas Mitroglou. He's a forward. He was the most expensive Greek player of all time after being purchased by Fulham this past January from Olympiacos for $12 million. He's a hero for Greece after helping them qualify for this World Cup in the playoff game that they had to play earlier on this year, or at the end of 2013, excuse me. A persistent knee injury may see him miss some World Cup time, but they will need him if they want to advance. And my question for the Greeks is, will age be a problem for them in Brazil with the weather? I think it will be a major problem, especially with the humidity. I just don't know if they've ever had the opportunity to play in an atmosphere like this before for over a week and a half of games, and I think it's just going to be too difficult for them to get out of this tough group. Finally, Japan, the Blue Samurai. This will be their 5th appearance, with their best performances coming in 2002 when they co-hosted with South Korea and 2010 in South Africa. Alberto Zaccheroni, the Italian head coach brought in after the 2010 World Cup, has coached club sides for most of his career and has his first coaching stint at the World Cup this upcoming tournament. So it should be interesting to see what he can accomplish with this talented side. He's won multiple titles with Japan since becoming their coach in 2010, but this is a whole nother animal, being the World Cup. The key players for him will be Keisuke Honda, a midfielder who plays for Milan, more an attacking role. He was very successful at the 2010 World Cup, nabbing 2 goals in the group stage and quite a few assists in their run to the round of 16. And it should be interesting to see if he's going to play that same role at this World Cup. Finally, Shinji Kagawa is another star at Japan. I really feel like these guys together, collectively, can have a huge impact on this tournament and help push Japan all the way to the quarterfinal with the right draw from Group D as their round of 16 opponent. And finally from Japan, Yuto Nagamoto. He's a defender from Inter Milan, and he's very experienced, talented guy, quick guy up the left side. He can play on the attack, or he can rush back to help out with the defense. I mean, you can move him into the midfield. He can play multiple positions. I think he's going to have a great World Cup for Japan and help them get out of the group. So can they get farther than they have in the past World Cups? I not only think Japan will get farther than they have, but I also think that they will win this group in impressive fashion. Like I said, it is the most competitive group of the World Cup, but anything can happen, and I see Japan being the lowest ranked team in this group actually taking the top spot. So the group schedule goes as follows. June 14th, Colombia will play Greece. Ivory Coast will play Japan. June 19th, Colombia will play Ivory Coast, and Greece will play Japan. And June 24th, we'll see the group stage end with Colombia playing Japan and Ivory Coast, playing Greece. The entire group should offer fireworks. I see it coming to the last day of the group schedule, determining who's going to make it out. But I will make my predictions as to saying Japan will finish first and Ivory Coast second, merely because the absence of Falcao will heavily be felt by the Colombian side. The breakout star of the group is going to be Wilfried Bony. He plays for Swansea in the English Premier League. He was their leading scorer this past season. He's coveted throughout England. He's wanted by many clubs. He's a great young player with a lot of upside and potential. I think he's got a lot to show on this world stage, with Drogba kind of being a mentor to him. I think it's the perfect opportunity for him as a coming out party in Brazil 2014. And the dud of the group. I'm going with the Colombian. It's going to be Freddy Guarín. I just haven't seen enough from this guy over the past few years that's really impressed me to believe all the hype that I heard about him when he was a much younger man. It's just too bad, but he has not lived up to the expectation. And I think on this stage, he's going to be expected to become that star, and he will not do so. So that concludes my preview of Group C. Thanks for tuning in, and tune in next time for my look at Group D, which consists of Costa Rica, Italy, England, and Uruguay. Thanks again. I'm Steve Cherry. Take care.